make sure that you're organized and ready for next year. I decided I didn't want a whole lot of stuff, okay? I didn't want a whole lot of challenges. I wanted to get a challenge, get finished with them. Some are longer, they'll be all year, but I didn't want a whole lot of things going on because I find out with my mind, and I know myself, and you have to learn yourself too, that you get too much and it's either doesn't get finished, it's half finished, or you don't want to do it anymore. And that's something that you have to decide in your life. Some people can, they can do 20 challenges, boom, 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 But there's other people, no. I want to get done and finished and feel accomplished with it. I want it organized where I can see it. I don't mind some of the challenges that people do, but there's some challenges that I don't do because I just don't like them. And I like to watch other people do them, but I don't want them because they don't fit in with my lifestyle, with my money. You have to fit things in your lifestyle. And you find that out even when we look at somebody doing a challenge, we go, oh, I want that. Because it's fitting in your lifestyle. And sometimes it's not. And then you can't give it up, or you think you can't give it up because it's not working for you. And we have to come to the realization when we're doing challenges or anything else, that may not be working for you because you have your own lifestyle. You are you. You have your own debt. You don't know what the other person's debt is. You don't know what they're going through. Both of you can have car payments, but your car payment has a different interest rate. Your car payments may be a different type of car, different type of company. Everything's different. Credit cards, yes, you can have a credit card the same as somebody else, but it can actually have a different interest rate depending on your credit score. So you're going through something totally different than somebody else. Your card may have been turned over to a debt collector. You're going through something else. And you didn't have to tell everybody you're going through a debt collector. That's what I said. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what's happening with people. And we look at stars and celebrities and they got the chain around the neck and we're thinking, oh, they're wealthy, blah blah blah. There's a lot of them going through bankruptcy right now. They're renting out the jewelry or it's fake. And we're sitting there going, oh, look what they got. They're in this big house and blah, blah, blah. I remember, what was it, MTV Cribs? Some of them, they weren't really in their house. They rented a house so they could be on MTV Cribs. Or they were put somewhere, but they actually lived someplace else. Sometimes I look now and see where some of them live because they really haven't made it, but you don't know where they live. And that's okay. That's their lifestyle. That's all they can afford. That's fine. But we can't model our life like that with anyone. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. You can see somebody in a car. They could be leasing the car or renting, as we say. Like they used to have rent-a-wreck, but they could be renting the car and you're going, oh, they got that. Oh, they got that. You don't know what that person's got. They're just sitting there leasing the car and they look wealthy. My uncle used to lease his car. He changed it every year. And to him, it was a status symbol. He would wait. One of my aunts, who's very quiet, she knew how he was, and she would just flaunt over the car. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And blah, blah, blah. And he'd stick out at his chest and puff up. But he was still jealous of what my mother had accomplished in real life. She wasn't leasing her car. She wasn't doing all that. They owned stuff and, it was flaunting. And you can't flaunt wealth. Okay, a lot of people do. They stick out their chest, holler, scream. But I remember Denzel Washington, he was in a movie, and one of the lines he said, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. Those are people that brag about what they got and boast. Have you been around those people? Loud, arrogant. I got this and I got that and I got this and blah, blah, blah. Just lack everything. But what they lack is knowledge and substance. They lack acting right in a crowd. They lack having class. They're boasting about what they have. When you get money, try not to do that. There's people with doctorates and everything. I got a doctorate. I don't go around boasting. Most people with doctorates don't boast, or masters. They don't boast. They just quietly go along with what they're doing. It's not important. It's what they're doing that's important. People give you an illusion of wealth. It's illusion. It's magic. You don't know whether they got it or not. And a lot of people get misled by that. Oh, they're in the big house, blah, blah, blah. You don't know whether they're renting that house, leasing the house, lease with option to buy. You don't know anything. Their friend let them stay there for a while, and they invite you over, and then they take off later on. Invite you over for Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving, Easter, and you think, oh, they live here. Oh, they out here. And they're leasing the house. I remember one of my friends, they had lived in one part of the town, and she said, oh, come on up, because the kids played with her son. And he was had autism, and she always liked, because my kids they weren't mean to him, or anything. He enjoyed having them around. And she had invited us up to the wealthy part of the world, okay? And her husband was out playing golf, and he had come in. And she said, do you know how much we're paying for this house every month? Because she was in shock, I could tell. And I said, no. She says, we're paying $24,000 a month to lease this house, because they had sold their house and he wanted to live in the other part of the world, okay? And I mean, they didn't flaunt. She never did. She made tea. She was folding up clothes. They didn't have a housekeeper or anything. They didn't flaunt their wealth. They didn't do all that. You would thought they were just your everyday person. But this is a person that hung out with the wealthy. They skied with the wealthy. I knew where they went, and we had been with them. Sometimes they take us to places. And so, but they didn't flaunt it. She's walking around with her blue jeans on, blah, 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 just there. And we have to learn that as we go. That when you get wealthy or you meet somebody, you don't flaunt it. Think of your wealthy people right now. Mark of Facebook. Most time got the same clothes on. Okay? Remember Steve Jobs, Apple? Same shirts. Yes, it could have been a brand scheme, but most of the time, that's what they wore all the time. They didn't go out there unless they're going someplace special, probably. But it was like, you got the same clothes on every day. What if you had the same clothes every day? What would happen? Remember in school, people make fun of you and laugh. But see, people know they got money. I'm not going to make fun of you. Okay, Warren Buffett still lives in one of the same houses he grew up in. He had another one, yes, but that's his main residence. They're not flaunting their wealth. When you know you already got money, or you got what you got, you don't have to go around flaunting and loud and telling everybody what you got. You don't have to show off. You don't have to do any of that. Things we have to learn if you haven't learned them. Because one day you're going to amass your wealth, your net worth, or have more money than you have now, because you're going to pay off your debt. And you have to learn to walk quietly. with big footsteps. It's good to look like you don't have any money. Okay? You want to take care of yourself quietly. You don't need to flaunt the wealth. Anybody that gets near you, they're going to find out eventually you got money. That if they get close and they know you well. There was an NBA player. He was still driving. I can't remember. I had to ask my son. I think he had a first time contract or something. He was 20 years old or something. And he had a contract for over 24 million or 94 million or something like that. I think it was 94 million they had given him, and he still drove his 1997 Chevy Tahoe. No matter what he had, everywhere, a little raggedy looking thing, I guess. But it was old. It's old, very old. And we can't do that. We can't listen to some people. They're telling you do this, do that. You can't listen. You have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to God. Because some things are not going to work out for you because you are different. We can't be materialistic. God doesn't want us to be materialistic. He wants you to walk around like you don't have anything. You're helping people. You're not worrying about, I want to look good, rich. Yes, we want to look nice. We want to smell nice. But we don't have to flaunt all the time. Maybe it's the type of car that you get. You may get a Rolls Royce. That does not mean you're going to flaunt it around and go, oh, I got the Rolls Royce. It's a cutie. See how cutesy it is? People will see the Rolls Royce. It will be your fashion statement. You don't have to talk about it. Okay, you say, yes, it's very nice, it's comfortable, blah, blah, blah. It's called cool fashion, cool quietness. Because society will push you into doing things you shouldn't be doing. We need to live below our means so that we can make more money. People make fun of frugal people. My mom's frugal. And I hate to say it, I got a touch of it. There was a time I would go toward my dad's side. He is not frugal. He was the spender, okay? And, whoop, there goes the money. Whoop, there goes the money. And then after all the money's gone, it hits you like, no, there's nothing there. Something's got to stop. And now I count everything that's going out the door. I told you it gives me anxiety when it's just a bit too much. Like, that's just too much. That's too much on groceries. What are we doing? I got the money. I'm not flaunting it, but I'm like, nope. We got to find that peace within ourselves. I've got peace within myself with my money now. I embrace looking poor. Okay, I got the jeans on. I hardly, if I go someplace, yes, you have to dress up, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I will. Okay, if people need the tux on, you got to dress up or whatever you got to do. But some people, what they do, they flaunt all the time. That's a part of their character. And some of them get in trouble for flaunting because what happens is they need more and more money. So what do? They start scamming people instead of working with what they got. And we have to work with what we got. We have to work with what God gives us. And God will give you more if you work with Him and you do what you're supposed to do. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's flaunting and telling you what to do. You should do this. You should do that. You can think for yourself. You don't need to listen to everybody. Kids wind up with it. Adults wind up with, the celebrities telling us what to do. Or sometimes it's your own pastor and they're wrong. Back in your mind, you're going, this does not feel right. God talks to you in your mind sometimes. He goes, your head is kind of twirling around there like something is not right. And when you get that feeling, that's when you have to start looking. Even if you walk into a bank and you've been working with somebody for a while and all of a sudden the money, it's just something going on in this bank. It's not working. There's something going on with this credit card. It's not working. We have to pay attention to what we're doing. We have to pay attention to our life. You're the only one that's over your life. You came in by yourself. You're going to leave here by yourself. You have to pay attention. Just because somebody is doing the 50, 30, 20 plan, it may not work for you. Okay? You may say, I'm going to work on that 70, 10, 5 plan because I can't save enough money right now. I need to pay off this debt. Let me do 70% need. I need to pay off this debt. I need to make my own plan up. Okay, I'm going to take my check and half of it is going to pay off these credit cards. And then the rest of it, I'm going to figure out what I can save after I get everything straightened out. Maybe I can buy a lollipop or something for just a treat, just to get me through. You can do it. I know you can do it. I'm always praying for you, whether I know you or not. I always tell God, if somebody hears my voice, I want them to know that I'm praying for them. I may not know your name, but you're a part of the family of man. And the good family of man, we've been through a whole lot. People called us names, called us stupid. Even sometimes of your own race, and sometimes they're not of your race. They're from somewhere else. And you're sitting there going, really? Because sometimes you have propped that culture up, helped that culture, and then somebody from that race talks down to you. And you're just like in shock. Like, did you really do this? And I just, you know what I do? I go, God forgive them. And God already knows when I do that, I go, forgive them. And I'm through with you because he said I can forgive. I don't have to hang around. I don't have to prop somebody up. I told you my uncle, he had dementia, but he had a mean streak before he got dementia because he was very jealous of my mom and the accomplishments that she had made. He was brought up in the city. She was down in the country. She was left down there. And she had a hard way to go. And he was up here, new clothes, going to school, blah, blah, blah. She went to 7th grade twice, not because she failed, because she wanted to go to school. There was no other school to go to that was near. And her mom was afraid for her to go. The Ku Klux Klan and all these people and things had happened to them, and they were like, no, I can't let you. She wouldn't let her out of her sight. Her husband had left her, had moved north, had remarried without getting a divorce from her. All that mess was going on. And other things have gone on through life. We have to pay attention, and also we have to watch our finances, and we have to walk with a big stick and not be boastful. God doesn't want that. We got to be, have pride with your money. When you get your money, you enjoy your money. God does not want you to be poor. But you have to watch what you're doing. He don't like anybody boasting and blah, blah, blah. You walk like Jesus walked. Jesus is the most powerful in the world and walked very quietly and suffered trying to take care of everybody here that still acting up. But we gonna make it, right? And I want you to make it. I want you to make some plans for next year if you haven't started yet. Just simple plans. Don't overdo and overwork and all this stuff. I decided that I would write down what I wanted all together, okay? And I may make it, and I may not make it. I'm not going to worry about it. God's going to fix it, and I'm going to work with him, and we'll see. But first one is sinking funds. I want to save up at least $12,000. And if I don't get there, I'll save something, right? Right. Home and cars, insurance, maintenance, building, building onto the house, or, remodeling, some stuff we want to do. And we have to decide, I'm thinking about moving, but we have to decide, are we going to move? But if we are, I will be ready when we get ready, because I want to pay cash for the next house. Okay, I want this house to pay for the next one to go. And so $15,000 for that. Saving and investing at least $11,000 next year. Mortgages, want to especially put on the first home $24,000 or less if I can, but the faster I can get it out of here, if I got more and can do it, I'll do it. I want to always try to keep a buffer of $5,000 in the account, because sometimes you don't know what happens. It's kind of my emergency abundance thing. I don't really do emergency plans there. I call them abundance, but they, you don't know if you got to hop on a plane. Somebody transitions, you don't know. And I want to make sure I always keep that in the account, that if I have to do something or go somewhere, it's there. Or the credit cards are free. My credit cards are free. I rotate them in and out because they're revolving credit, and you just don't let them languish there, because the companies now, they didn't bother you. You could not use it for a couple of years and go back and pick it up. You can still use it, but they look at it as, you don't need it, let's cut it off. You don't need it, let's drop your credit limit. They're revolving. They're meant for you to go in and out. And don't be embarrassed. A lot of people are embarrassed. I don't want the credit card company to know that I, put my lunch on there every day or whatever. They could care less. They don't care. Just use the card. Okay? And don't overdo it. Try to keep it at 10%, 20%, 30%. Try not to overdo it. If you have to, try to pay it off or pay most of it off. Don't be ashamed. And just don't overdo it where you're back in debt again. And try not to worry yourself. When you worry, your heart, your brain, your whole body takes it on. We don't need you sick. Okay, it's time to stop worrying. If it's up and you feeling a little anxiety, just take it over to God. And some of you now, know how to get out of debt. So there's no sense in sitting there worrying about it, because you already got how to plant that seed to get rid of it. Well, I'll pay this, it'll be over. Make a strategy. Always do a strategy. If you owe $10,000, okay, how many months? Can we get a second job? Can we do this? Okay, get strategies going. How much can you put on the debt? We got strategies. We can do it. And I believe in you. You got to believe in you. Okay, don't waste my time with me believing in you and you don't even believe in yourself. Don't waste your time worrying about something that's not going to work. You got to believe in you. You got to love yourself. You got to do that. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to get any further. And don't worry about all the mistakes you made. The world has made mistakes. The world has made worse mistakes than you ever will. And yes, they may be detrimental to your budget, but just start all over again. Just start all over again. That's all you got to do. So, we are going to take care, enjoy ourselves, love ourselves. You are blessed. You will always be blessed. And if you don't feel blessed, just turn it around. Talk to God about it. You need to take all your problems to Him. He's the one you got to ask for forgiveness for anything that you've done. Or you may think you've done. Some people think they did the worst, and it's not the worst. You just feel bad. You're all right. And think of all the things you've gotten through. Sometimes sit down and think of all the hurdles you got through. Write them down. Write down 5 hurdles you've gotten through. At the bottom on the comments, Think of a hurdle that you got through. You didn't think you were going to make it. Tell me what it is. Anyway, take care. Enjoy yourself. Love yourself. God bless you. And everybody else at the sound of my voice. See you at the giveaway on Sunday, 6 p.m. Bye-bye.